Here we
Yes.
go. For those of you thinking about going solar in one way or another, there's some things that you need to know. And Starry is here to help us figure that out. Starry, you have some experience with solar, so
Yes.
what are your thoughts here?
Well, my thoughts when it comes to solar, because of living off the grid and having solar, have really developed and changed with time. So I love the idea of being more independent from the grid.
Sure.
I'm in full agreement of having solar panels and having that alternative electrical source. That's a give me. I'm all for that. But I think what happens with people who are looking at solar is they really lose sight of um, the it's when you choose to this lifestyle, a sustainable lifestyle, it really isn't about the electricity. It really isn't about the grid. It really is about a philosophy and a lifestyle that the electricity really plays a small part. And what I see is many people who they go off the grid and they take their on-grid life and move it to their off-grid life. Now there's a problem with that because they're not changing their lifestyle in the philosophy of what sustainable living is all about. And it really is about living a life that is free of all dependence upon the grid, the world, removing yourself really temporally and doing how God you doing what God designed us to do. You know, think about God. He put us in the Garden of Eden, right? He gave us a garden, right? And he wanted us to use our hands. He wanted us to be one with the animals. And, that kind of got messed up, but still, even biblically, all the people, how they lived, right? They were farmers and sheep herders and
Yeah.
hunters and gatherers, right? And so it's not about the electricity and it's not about the solar panels. And what I see people doing, especially today, is they will set up a man. We had a 2 kilowatt array. I see people with 30, 40, 50 kilowatt array, right? And they've got all the appliances, right? They've got their washer and the dryer and they've got their electric stove and they've got their air
It's like a
conditioners.
hotel
It
room.
is. And that is what is that? And you live off the grid
Yeah.
because you got solar panels. That's not off-grid living. That's being disconnected from the grid, but that's not changing your lifestyle and really going back to the roots of who we are and how we should be living as human beings. This lifestyle is a very freeing lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that can actually feed us spiritually, temporally, physically, you know, and it's really getting disconnected from that world and using our hands, growing our own food, being able to, just enjoy creation and what God gave us, harvesting our wood, foraging, having a simple, simple life. And so when I look at solar now, I'm like, we need to stop making these mistakes of taking our old life, our very worldly life, and bringing it into the off grid life where we're supposed to be really disconnecting. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It totally makes sense. Well, and plus, you have to be in an area where solar will work. And
Exactly.
the weather, I mean, you
That's
have to
right.
keep that in mind as
Yep.
well. And you could have times where, you need solar, you need power, and it
Yes.
happens to be cloudy out, or you know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So it's not fully there. I'm waiting
No.
for free energy, period.
Yes.
Sorry. That's
Yeah.
what I was
Yeah. And
I
and and
want
and
free energy.
you make a really good point. I used to teach this and preach this all the time. I'm like, there are going to be cloudy days. And so are you dependent on the electricity or are you setting yourself up so that there are alternative ways to actually continue to live sustainably without that dependence on your solar panels?
Yeah.
Because we can become too dependent on everything, our generators, our solar. And even when I set up this tiny house, I'm going to use electricity as long as it's available. I'm not going to be stupid. but I'm also going to have backup solar. So when the grid goes down, the things that I need, like my refrigeration, I don't use a lot of electricity, but it's nice to have that backup. But
Yeah.
then again, like I did in the one video, I'm trying to set it up so that I'm really almost electrical free, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you can really set up a homestead that way. But I always say when you go with solar, just make sure you're not too dependent on it. You're practical. You don't need a 30 kilowatt grid. Pick and choose what you want to use for your electrical appliances. What's important to you? Is it refrigeration? Is it, are you using it for cooking, heat, are you, electrical tools, whatever tools you're using around the house? Um, you don't really need a lot of electricity for most of these things. And have your solar. There's things that people, they make mistakes too because they put it at the wrong place. They put it too far away from the house. They just get the wrong setup, and they trust the solar guys. So solar guys wants to sell you the biggest, right, the biggest unit, and they want to
True.
sell
Yeah.
you the windmills, the wind power, and it doesn't always blow every day, so wind
Yeah.
is not really sustainable. Then they want to sell you something for the water, if you got water, hydro, um, nothing is foolproof. So the
Yeah.
only thing that's foolproof is making sure that your lifestyle is such where you can survive without any of it, and you set it up that way.
That's true. Beautiful. Okay, let's